I'm Esme, and I'm from Everyone Connected, a group of organisations that think it shouldn't be a privilege to have power. Our campaign is advocating to the Electricity Authority, an independent body that regulates New Zealand's electricity industry. We're calling on them to introduce binding rules about consumer care. Right now, there are no mandatory rules to protect customers. Electricity companies are just encouraged to follow consumer care guidelines, which are voluntary, and there are no penalties for companies that don't follow them. These guidelines cover important things like reasonable fees, communicating clearly with customers, how retailers treat people who are medically dependent on electricity, and minimum steps to prevent people falling into debt and getting disconnected. We think it is unacceptable that these guidelines aren't compulsory. As electricity is an essential service, we should all have access to. In 2007, an Auckland mother died after her power company disconnected her electricity supply due to an unpaid bill, as she relied on an oxygen machine. 16 years later, there are still no mandatory rules to protect people who depend on electricity to stay alive, or, just like all of us, to stay warm and well. Fortunately, at the moment, the Electricity Authority is considering whether to make all or part of these guidelines into mandatory rules for retailers, and they're asking the public for their views. Their preferred option is to make only some parts mandatory, but we think this still isn't enough. This is where you come in. The Electricity Authority are asking for submissions from the public around what they should do. These submissions need to be made by 5 p.m. on Monday, the 2nd of October. So what could you say? You could say anything you want. We are going to say the Electricity Authority should commit now to making mandatory and strengthening all protections in the consumer care guidelines as fast as possible. You could say this too, or share your personal story of dealing with your power company. Are they taking consumer care seriously? You could also ask the Electricity Authority to go further and investigate unfair disconnection fees and prepay prices, which are harming households on lowest incomes. Check out our submission guide at tinyurl.com/consumercarenz and have your say before the 2nd of October. Thanks for your time.